Hello, my loves. Welcome to Lifestyle Manifesting. I'm Shannon. On my channel, I talk all about manifesting as a lifestyle. Your life is transforming right before your eyes. You belong right here. You are changing and transforming. Everything in your world is reflecting you. Hello, everyone joining. I am talking about manifesting your specific person. I'm talking about manifesting love, whether it's that specific person or any new love. You can do this. You can create the reality you want, and you can be very specific about the reality you're creating, because your imagination is creating your reality. What you're thinking, what you're assuming for the future is also being created. Your imagination creates. So you need to be telling the story, create the story in your mind that you are with your person. You're already with your person. It's already done. You're already admired. You're already adored. You're already loved and chosen. You already have this reality because that reality is existing. The reality that you are imagining, it already exists. So to shift into that reality where it already exists, you want to be thinking from the version of you who has that reality. That means you're thinking from it. You're inserting yourself into that version of you who already has it. It's like acting, okay? So you're going to insert yourself into the version of you who already has your desire. What are you thinking? What do you say? What would you be feeling? What would you be looking at? What would you be feeling, seeing, smelling? Use your five senses. Take yourself to that future event or future circumstance. Bring them into the present moment. So you're taking and constructing a scene, a future scene, and you make it now. Place yourself in the scene that feels good to you. It feels romantic, or it feels beautiful. It feels loving. It feels caring. Place yourself. Yeah, brand new SP Yasmin. You can meet somebody. Like, I'm telling you, I just made a decision. I was ready. I was like, nope, it's going to happen now. And it was 4 hours later. You don't know. You don't have to know the how. You do know because you'll be creating it. I did know I would be creating that. I didn't know exactly how that was going to unfold. I just imagined having it, and then my reality, natural steps that I took, which we could call it inspired action. Just the natural steps I took of the day brought me to that exact thing that I had imagined. This scene that I had imagined, it brought to me. So create that scene and then hold to that vision. Keep claiming this is already done. I love love. I love romance. Okay, those are some things you would be thinking, or just they would be some assumptions you might have, right? You'd have an assumption that you're loved. If you're with the love of your life, you have this feeling and assumption that you're loved. So if you're just affirming that, all you have to do is affirm that. Your world will start to reflect what you're affirming, because what you affirm, you start to feel more familiar with it. And then your world reflects what you're focused on feeling love, being loved, lovable, chosen, number one, the one and only, romance, love. Okay. Even just meditating on those ideas will bring it to you. If you generally meditate, when I say meditate, it doesn't mean you have to sit quietly or in lotus position or something like that. It's just your mind is contemplating that idea. Okay, so meditate or contemplate that idea of love and how you love love, and that you love receiving love and you love being in love. That will bring you to the end. So there's many different ways for you to live in the end of having your desire. And you are a powerful creator. You could do this today. If I can do it in 4 hours, you could do it even faster. You could just step out your door, or let's say you're at work and you just walk out to your car and you just run into the right person that is the right person. All right. So I see maybe we have some questions here. Hi, everyone. I'll go ahead and answer some of your questions. Hi, Shannon. How can we manifest being debt-free without getting triggered by the actual debt? Because you're going to look at the debt and say this bill is paid. When you see the debt, you're going to claim. You keep claiming it. Claim, I am abundance. understand, okay, let's go back to some of the basics. Anything you can imagine, it means it's already yours. Anything you imagine, it already means there's a reality where that exists. So you have infinite possibilities. You want to tap into that possibility, not just a possibility, but tap into the reality where you have more than enough money. You are debt-free. That version of you, what is that version thinking? It's not a big deal to pay the debt. That bill is paid. You plant the seeds, right? Every thought is a seed. So you're going to manifest being debt-free by, first of all, you get triggered. That's okay. You were triggered because that was the old version of you. Point to a bill and say, this bill's being paid. I don't know how, but it's being paid today. You could go in your imagination and imagine paying bills. Take an imaginal scene where you love paying bills because you have all the money in the world. And if you construct a scene and you imagine that and you practice imagining that a few times a day, every day, you're going to see changes in your world where you are happily paying bills. Okay, you speak it into existence. You could also say an intention. I intend this debt's paid. I intend this bill is paid. I intend that I'm debt free. I intend that I have more than enough money. I intend that money is just flowing into my life. I intend that it feels like avalanches of money flowing into my life. So it's about remembering who you are, staying in the end, keep claiming it, because when you're triggered by the 3D, it means you haven't really changed your own belief about it, or you haven't changed your thoughts about it, and you're still reacting in the old way. You need to be reacting in a new way. Okay, join my VIP group if you want to be more stable and to see that vision and hold to the end, being in the end where you pay that bill. Somebody else just joined my group for a week, because you can join free for 1 week, and manifested a lot of money. I just had another person said she didn't know how she was going to do it, but in a very short few days that she's been in my group, manifested money to pay things. And what she did say was the $35 investment, by the way, she was only free at the time, right? But the $35 a month investment that she was making was going to be a bigger return on her investment, that it would be worth it. Do you see that's creating a story around, yes, the story is supporting you and your desire and your needs. Okay, because if someone's saying, I'm not going to pay $35 a month to be part of a group, that's too expensive. Well, then you're still in the mindset where you're not having money, and that sounds expensive. Would you rather be in a reality, in an experience where that's not a big deal? Okay, I've transitioned my own life where $35 used to sound like a lot. It sounds like nothing. It's literally pennies. Even $1,000 just sounds like pennies to me. It doesn't sound like a big deal. It doesn't sound like a big deal to spend $10,000. It doesn't sound like a big deal. I'm telling you, you train yourself to see money in a different way, and you're going to have a different experience. This is what abundance mindset is. I'm also doing an exercise with abundance mindset in my group. Imagine you have $1,000 today, and how are you going to spend it? Paying those bills? Great. Tomorrow, now you have $2,000. By the way, you're going to wonder, well, how will this work? Because your imagination creates reality. So when you keep imagining you have money and you're imagining you're spending it, and if you can imagine you're spending it frivolously, that means you have money to spend. Do you understand that? Practice spending money every day in your mind. Another thing you can do is gratitude. Live in gratitude, because that's the state of having. So I'm grateful, and be in gratitude. Gratitude, that bill, you receive that bill, it's going to be paid, and you're grateful for that. Zama, how to manifest good grades in crunch time. Yeah. In a time crunch. You just claim it. You just claim it. Close your eyes and imagine that you see the grade you want. I'm telling you, I do this stuff all the time, even with my kids' grades. Okay, so you want to see all the perfect grades. Close your eyes and imagine it. Yesterday has nothing to do with today. If you're understanding and that you're a conscious creator, everything is imagination. So you're imagining the past, or you're imagining what you did yesterday. It's only something you imagined. You can imagine yesterday was different. You can imagine instead of getting a D or a C on a paper, you can imagine it was an A and watch what happens. Keep using revision. By the way, this works for anything. It could work for a situation at work. It could work for a conversation with your specific person. If everything's coming from you, all you'll have to do is imagine something differently. Okay, but most people, I guess I get it. It could feel kind of weird or scary, or it doesn't feel right to think that way. But just test it, because you'll prove it to yourself in the testing. Everything is your imagination. If you start imagining something differently, you will see the results of it. Okay, but the key is that you have to persist. You imagine it differently. You imagine it the way you want it to be. Perfect grades. And that's it. You just have to go to the end. Okay? And you persist in it, and your world will prove to you what you're persisting in. So are you persisting in having what you want, whatever your desire is? Or are you persisting that maybe you're double-minded, meaning you're persisting, but then you're looking at the 3D, and then you're persisting, and then you're looking at the 3D, and then wondering what's going on, and then you're persisting. This is double-minded. This is when you're not living in the end. You have to kill off the old man, or you have to let go of that old story. Manifesting money. Yeah, and I'm talking a lot about manifesting money. So many people are manifesting money in my group. Everyone is manifesting money. Raleigh, is that how you say your name? Raleigh, you're going to manifest money today. Okay? Who else was asking about money? Alite, you are manifesting money today. I'm going to be live, hopefully this weekend. Come back, find me, comment on one of my videos, and you're going to come back, because we predict our own reality. You understand that? You could predict your own reality. So just start claiming what you want. You're coming back and you're going to say, Shannon, that's what you told me, and then it happened. And this is, maybe we want to say it's even freaking you out, because it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, black light. Is it enough to be in the knowing state? Absolutely. Yeah. And no triggers, no affirmations. You don't have to affirm. It's about knowing. There's things in your life right now that you're manifesting daily, whether it's you're treated a certain way, you're manifesting certain behaviors. It's just because you know it. So yes, it's enough to know it. That's exactly where it's a really great place to be, in that knowing state. Like, just be in the knowing state that you know life always gets better for you. Be in the knowing state that you know that it's always better and better. Like, life is only good. It's only better. How does married from the end look like? Miss Roro. How does married from the end look like? Well, I mean, marriage is going to look different to everybody, but I could help give you some ideas of the foundation that you want. You want a stability, right? You want a secure, stable, loving, kind relationship, loyalty. Like, not everyone wants that, right? But what is it that you want? Okay, what is it you want? So you create that vision of what you want by, like, you could do the research on your own. You could join my VIP group to learn more, but you could do research on your own. What are ideas of a beautiful, long-lasting, committed marriage? And then start writing down what looks good to you. What would you like to experience? And then as you write that down, you're painting that picture. You'll be creating that. A lot of times we create what we don't want, and we're like, oh, I don't want that. And I don't want to be like my parents. And then we turn out to be just like your parents that you didn't want, because that's where you're focused. Okay. So what does it look like? Committed, loyal, devoted, admiring each other, lifting each other up. Right? Inspiring each other to grow, right? You could inspire each other to grow, inspiring each other to be the best version of each other. Okay, so I'm only giving you ideas, but you have your own ideas, or you have your own vision. I do have a meditation on YouTube. In my playlist on YouTube, I have a meditation for manifesting marriage. Okay, and you can go straight to my YouTube channel from like up here. It's Lifestyle Manifesting. Okay, so that will give you ideas of what you could listen to that meditation, and then those are ideas of what you're thinking from, right? Just claim like you're someone who's able to figure it out. You're someone who's able to grow with life. You don't have to know all the answers. You're figuring it out, and that's cool. That's great, right? And the answers just come to you, and you're able to solve problems. You're able to have great communication. You're able to build, develop a deep relationship, a deep loving relationship that feels very connected and very safe and very secure. Okay, so the stories that we tell are what we're creating. Just start telling that story. Start claiming that. You could claim that. You could claim, this is what my marriage looks like. Or when I get married, even that appears to be the future, and you know that's your desire, but that's painting the picture, and that's creating. My life looks like this. My marriage is this. And then read it. Write it out and then read it. You'll be creating that. What like the characteristics of your partner, what does that look like? How do they make you feel? I definitely spend time. I do have a really powerful exercise. I have a series of videos. It's called 30 Days to Creating Your Ideal Self. So I help you this is in my VIP group. I help you see that you're creating everything. So the way that you see yourself in relation to your family, the way you see yourself in relation to your partner, the love of your life, the way you see yourself in relation to money, the way you see yourself in relation to people like your career, people in your field, all of it is created by you. So if you get more clear on how you see yourself in relation to these different areas of your life, you could create your life to be exactly what you want it to be. You really are just writing the story of your life. How to stop feeling like it was my fault we aren't in contact. Because you didn't know. You didn't even know. You didn't know it was you creating. Like, forgive yourself, for you know not what you do. I get it. Sometimes it feels like we're realizing we created it, and now all this stuff we created, but it's not about fault. You have to let that go, because that's you living in the end of feeling guilt or shame or fault. Like, that's what you don't want to live in the end of. Okay. You didn't know any better. Okay. Now you know you're a conscious creator. What do you want? That's what you should be focused on. Are you focused on, it's my fault, we're not in contact? Or are you going to focus on, you're the creator of your reality, and if you start claiming we are in contact, even better, by the way, before you didn't even know do you understand you're not in contact for the way that you believed things to be? Maybe it wasn't good communication, maybe there was fighting, maybe you thought you were avoidant, maybe all these things we could assume, right? Based on what the world might define us as. But you could define yourself as healed and in contact or growing. Like, that circumstance only made you stronger. Do you understand? The fact that you're not in contact probably is the reason you're understanding you're the God of your reality. This whole thing that happened, this is the reason you're realizing that you have so much more power than you ever knew. Do you see how you could look at the value? Do you see how you could look at the silver lining? Do you see how this is going to help step you up and level up? Okay, you just take what happened and you find the value of it. You weren't in contact because you didn't know what you were doing, and that's okay. Now, what do you want? Better communication, strong relationship, devoted to one another. See, if you're focused on that, you'll create it. You're focused on what you don't have. Focus on what you prefer as if you have it. Focus on the kind of life you do want. You're the main character, right? I would love that we live together. I would love waking up next to the person I love. I would love embracing them, right? That is living in the wish fulfilled. Okay, so let that go. Let that go, because that's only going to hold you back. Okay, those feelings, which are on that lower scale, if you look at those scales that people put together. But what you are is true love, right? You are infinite love. You are infinite wisdom. And this was just an experience. It's okay. No blame for Shanna. SP came back. Beautiful. But you don't like that version. Okay, well, you have the power to make a difference. You have the power to shift your relationship. Okay. SP came back. Okay, so I get it. SP came back and then showed up kind of not the version you want, but you have to stop focusing on the version you don't want. If you want your SP to be the version you do want, keep living in the end that you have it. I am treated like what? How are you treated? Speak that into existence. Or I intend to be treated. SP came back, and I know this is all part of the bridge of incidents, and it's all working in your favor. Okay, do you understand? You have to speak it into existence. What you're speaking into existence already. And do you understand that's how we get caught in that loop? Because you're like, oh, SP came back. And you're like, okay, cool, this is working. Oh, but I don't like that version of him. Okay, so if you don't like that version of him, then you need to stay in the end of the version of him you do like. How would you feel? What would you see? What would the interaction be? You have to live in that. But instead, what a lot of people do, because of the construction of our reality, because of space and time, we start to focus on that version. I don't like it. And then he's still the person you don't like. And you're like, but I don't like you being this way. And then he's still being this way you don't like. And then you're like, but I don't like it. And guess what? It just stays right here in your present reality. The version of him you don't like stays right here because you keep talking about this version of him you don't like. And then he must stay right here. Talk about the version you would like. See the best in him. Feel the version of you that's a master at manifesting that could pull that most beautiful version of him into your world. You're someone that could pull him into you. You're someone that could pull that out of him. You could pull that out with anything you're imagining, with an intention. I intend, and then what is it? XYZ. What do you intend? I intend he's treating me like a prize. I intend he's calling me to check on me because I feel a little lonely. It's okay to feel lonely. I intend he's calling me to check on me because I feel lonely. And then imagine that call. Imagine he's there for you. Imagine he's by your side. Imagine he lifts you up. Imagine whatever. Right? Whatever you want to imagine it. But don't imagine the version that you don't like. Okay? So it's going to be easy for you because we're going to claim that. And you're going to get this. And you're downloading right now ideas of how to live in the end. And it's done. It's done. I would like to manifest SP. So can you just talk me through? What about other people? What about other people? What about those other people? Okay, let me talk you through. Let's just go to you would like to manifest other people. You would like to manifest SP. Okay, here. Let me talk you through that. It's already yours. Susie, if you and our SP are already together, what would that look like from your perspective, through your eyes? What would you? So just like I want you to contemplate what that looks like. Because it doesn't look like there's something with other people, or it doesn't look like, it also doesn't look like you would like to manifest SP, right? It doesn't look like that. That's not the end. The end is you already have SP. You already have this love that you desire. You already are the person you want to be right now. Okay, so how do I talk you through that? You're just going to have inner conversations with yourself because you're already doing that. So your inner conversation should be, I love that I did this. I love that I have the love of my life. I love that I have the relationship I always wanted. I love that I'm loved. Versus, here's what you don't want to say, because inner conversations are creating. You don't want to have inner conversations claiming, what about those other people? Or let's say there's a third part. I don't know. We don't want to create that. But, for those of you who had this experience, like, but what about the third party? There is no third party. Stop wondering about that. Go to the end. Okay. So you don't want to be thinking, how am I going to manifest? When is this going to work? Is it going to happen before Valentine's Day? That's living from the end that you don't have your desire. Okay, you understand you're a master manifester. You're a master manifester, okay? You are, just claim it. Just claim you are. Imagine your specific person wants you to manifest them and they are like, wow, they're the lucky one that you chose them and they've been manifested into your life. So what do? You consistently tell the story that you already have what you desire. This life is storytelling. Your life is storytelling. And you're always telling a story. Are you telling the story, I'm always alone on Valentine's Day and I don't know why it doesn't work out for me. All the good ones are gone. And the older I get, the harder that's a story. Those are all stories. And if you're telling those kind of stories, your world's going to say, here you go. Let me show you that story. Let me show you you're going to live that story. You don't want to live that story. So this is why you need to have the awareness of what you're talking about to yourself. What are your thoughts about yourself? What are your thoughts about the people in your world? Are you claiming you already have a great life? Or are you thinking, when is life going to get better? When will I get my desire and life will be better? Okay, because you could be living from the end of either one of those ideas. Which one do you want to live in the end of? You claim it before you receive it, or you say it before you see it. Do you understand that? You're the cause, your world. For you, in your world is your effect. Don't worry about all the other people. Okay, for you to practice being a master manifester, you're going to perceive through your eyes. Okay, you're not wondering about everybody else. You're the one with the willpower, or you're the thinker in your reality. So look through your eyes what you want as if you have it, give it to yourself. Okay, and then it's done. I mean, it's going to manifest probably today. It could manifest today. It can manifest, I told you, for me, 4 hours. In 4 hours. Okay. Yeah, Veronica, where do we join? Oh, for my VIP group? In the link in my bio up here. VIP group. VIP Mastermind. Okay, there we go. So you'll find it there, okay? So after the live, go ahead. You can join free for a week. It used to be 3 days, but I added a week because I feel like that's kind of nice to have a whole week. And you're really going to make changes. I'm telling you, people come in my group, they make changes very quickly. Hi, Black Light. You're in the knowing state. Yeah, it is peaceful, isn't it? And it's priceless. Beautiful. Yeah, Marina, you can manifest your SP to break up with you. You can. You can manifest it to be however you want. It's an amicable breakup. Whatever you want, just imagine it. Imagine the way you want it to go. And it will go that way, the way that you're... Oh, you said not. You mean not to break up with you. Because, that was later. Okay. Well, whatever you want, you could create. So, yes, you can. Are you feeling like they're going to break up with you? It's coming from you, and they're going to reflect what you feel. Okay, so here's what I want you to focus on. I want you to, not that they're going to break up with you, because you said not, right? Manifest SP not breaking up with you. Then don't be thinking about a breakup. Think about your relationship is only growing stronger. And that's where you put your vision. Okay, this is where you rest your imagination on this idea. Okay, you could ask things to yourself like, what would it be like? Because sometimes we don't know how we're going to make it stronger. Just by claiming it, you will. Okay, you don't have to know how. You're just going to claim it, and the world will show you how. It will just naturally happen, how you'll grow stronger. You'll just read an article, or someone will tell you a beautiful story about how their relationship was stronger, and that's how. So you don't have to worry about the how. You claim it. So instead of feeling You might be feeling like SP is going to break up with you, but here's what you could do. Start claiming your relationship is only growing stronger. It's only going stronger. It's only getting better, only more in love. What else feels good to you, right? It's only better. We feel safe and secure with each other. So speak what you want versus what you see. If what you see is what you don't like, then you have to start saying and telling yourself a new story, and you persist in the new story. It's always coming from you. Okay, how do you change old beliefs? I'm into girls, but I feel boys give safety and I can't compete with that. Oh, okay. That's not true though. See, you could find examples in your own life where relationship with women together, lesbian women together, and they are safe. So that already exists in the world. Okay, you're thinking that, are you saying that, whatever, I don't know exactly how you're saying this, right? Are you saying that you're worried that the one you like would like a boy? Or are you worried? Here's the thing, you're focused on what you're worried about. Okay, so how do you change the old belief? With repetition of a new belief, with repetition of a new idea, just an idea. If you repeat a new idea, it will become a belief. Okay, so the new idea is, instead of I fear, say you want to claim something about safety and security. There's no competition. You get everything you want. You could claim that also. I always get what I want. There's no competition. I always get what I want. There's no competition. I always get what I want. There's no competition. Okay, so what's the opposite? You don't want to have the fear. What do you want? And that's where you put your focus. And you just focus on that idea, and then that idea will reflect back in your world. You're going to change beliefs just with repetition of any idea. So start affirming something about security. I am secure, or I am sure. I feel safe with, and then what is the outcome you want or your desire? Or the people in your world feel safe, right? They feel safe with you. You feel safe with them. It's a story. It's just a story we're telling. Life is a story. So instead of telling the story you don't want, tell the story you do want, until the world matches the story you're telling. It will. It will. You just have to persist. Anya, me and SP are together. Beautiful. But there were some triggers. Now he texts me less. I'm too anxious. All right. So, anxiety is coming from sometimes the fear of the future, right? Worry of what happened in the past, or the fears of the past, the fears of the future. But you could change yourself into someone who's feeling more safe, right? If you're safe and secure, you're going to feel less anxious, and that might even go away. I'm not even anxious because I declared I am secure. I radiate security. By the way, like 5 years ago, I was a mess, a total mess. I was a mess. And the one thing I did, I just started claiming I am secure. I radiate security, even when I didn't. But I kept claiming it until my world started showing me that was true. And sure, it did feel like a little bit of it felt like it's progress, right? It didn't just happen overnight, but that's okay. It can happen overnight. Understand that. Just claim what you want. I am secure. I am secure in this relationship. I am secure that I'm chosen. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm loved unconditionally. No conditions. I know that I'm loved because I exist. I know that everything's okay. I know that everything will work out. I know that this too shall pass. It's okay. It's also okay that you're anxious. You don't have to resist it. Like, I know I'm anxious, but this too shall pass. I love when he texts me more. Don't talk about what you don't want, right? Now he texts me less. I mean, if you want to keep that in place, that'll be your reality. If you keep, your attention on it, if you keep focusing on it, if you keep talking about it in your mind, you get back together, things feel good. And then all of a sudden it's like, started texting less. And then now what are you wondering? Are you wondering, why is he texting me less? Is he not interested anymore? Did he find someone else? That's living from the end of an insecurity. If you're living from the end of security and he started texting you less, he was always reflecting you. He starts texting you less. Don't follow, don't be influenced by what you don't want. Stay stable stay stable in being chosen. So you claim he's in love with me. Okay, so if he didn't text you, don't make any assumption other than the assumption that you're loved and whatever, like devoted to or admired. You're the prize, right? You that's where you stay. And if you stay in the end, nope, he loves me. He's always texting me. And then guess what? He will text you every single moment of the day and you'll be like, yes, it's working. Okay, but see, it was you that you were the one that wavered. You're the one he texted less. What assumptions did you make? I am the God of my reality. He's texting me now. Did you make that assumption? Or did you make the assumption, oh my God, maybe this isn't working? Right? So one idea brings more ideas just like it. Are you living in the end of the idea that you're a goddess or you're the master manifester? Are you living in the end of that? Are you living in the end that a relationship's only growing stronger and better? Or are you living in the end of reacting to a circumstance? Okay. This is what you have to recognize. This is how you become a master at manifesting, because whatever's happening in the circumstance does not affect you. It doesn't have to affect you. If you react differently, you're going to have a different outcome. Okay, and you can change this now. So I recommend claiming affirmations that are the opposite of anxious. Secure, sure, knowing, confident. Okay, and then just say that in different ways, like affirmations like, I radiate confidence. I radiate security. I embody security. I love being secure. I intend to be secure. All of those ideas, right? Just say it in different ways that feel good to you. I intend, I love, I know I'm secure. I know I can become more secure. All of that will bring you to that reality. But sometimes we feel anxious and then we feel guilty about it. And we're like, oh my God, why am I so anxious? And then are you going to build on being anxious and let that build in the present moment? Or are you going to shift it and say, okay, I'm anxious, but this will pass. And I intend to feel secure. And I intend to create the reality I want. Okay, what are you doing? This awareness of what you're doing is going to help you see that your reality is reflecting you. So you're going to have the awareness and you're going to be able to shift it and change it. Hi, BB. I feel SP is on the verge of not talking to me again. That's coming from you. I don't know what to do to not feel sad and change that. You feel like SP is on the verge of not talking to you again. Here's what you do. Stop focusing on that story. What would it feel like if you go to the end of who you are? Don't focus on whether or not that person's going to talk to you, okay? Create the secure version of you who's not basing your satisfaction or your fulfillment on the condition. Like, don't base your satisfaction on whether or not that person talks to you or loves you. Okay, you create it from within. Create fulfillment from within. See yourself as the best choice. Okay, if you start to just shift your attention to yourself, don't you want to talk to you? Don't you want to be with you? Don't you love being with you? Okay, so this is where you bring your attention. I love, like say things that you love about yourself. Say things that claim who you are. I am the prize. I am an amazing person. I am beautiful. I radiate beauty from the inside out. It's easy to talk to me. Of course, people love to talk to me. Some sort of little rampage of affirmations like that. Okay, why? Because you'll bring the attention to yourself and you'll create that your reality is going to reflect what you're saying about yourself. You want to build up the concept that you hold of yourself. How can I manifest commitment from him and public relationship? Lols, you claim it. You claim that's who you are. If you have your desire, what would you be saying and what would you be feeling? And you claim that. Claim, I'm someone that it's easy to have a commitment with me. I love commitment. Talk about what you love. If you just start talking about what you love instead of what you don't want or what you're fearing, talk about what you love. I love commitment. It's easy to commit to me. I am the ideal partner. Like, you speak to yourself as the person you want to be. Your identity is creating your reality. Your personality is creating your personal reality. So who are you being? Are you being the person who feels unsure in relation to him? Or are you deciding that you're sure? He's only thinking what you're thinking. So you're going to claim it. Claim it. What does that look like if you already have that? How can we ignore 3D and disconnect when it's not looking favorably? You could look at the silver lining. Whatever's happening in the 3D, it's all happening and it's all okay. It's part of the bridge of incidents. Even if it's something bad, this is exactly what was supposed to happen for you to have your favorable outcome. It's all turning around. You could say anything you want. This is all turning around. This is part of what's supposed to happen. This is good. This was supposed to happen so it could all fall apart for the new stuff to come in. Remember, it's a story, so that's just a story. But the story we tell is what's happening. So can you find value of what happened? Every single person that's failed who is very successful right now, they failed, but they didn't take it as failure. They took it as to help them level up or step up to see a new vision. Some people believe you have to fail before you'll be successful. I mean, it's not that it's a bad idea, right? Okay, I mean, we don't have to fail before you're successful, but that's a lot of people believe that. And a lot of people really thrive and succeed because of the failure that they had. So we don't have to, it's not like we have to ignore failure, just change the assumption you have around it. Give a good meaning to that failure. There's so many great stories about people who are like greatest athletes that had situations, like think of Michael Jordan, cut from the basketball team in high school. If he decided that his being cut was not going to make his future and then that maybe he should do something different, then he would have been doing something different. But instead, it's like you persist. You persist in what you want. You persist in your vision. Alicia, you said, can I change my boyfriend's behavior? Sometimes I can't stand him. I love him so much. Yeah, but you want to focus on what you do love about him. That's how you'll change the behavior. He's going to reflect what you're focusing on because he's a holographic image of your imagination. He's the holographic image from your imagination. And if you're focusing on the behavior that you want that you don't like, and you keep focusing on what you don't like, you're only going to keep that in your life. Okay, so see the version of him that you want to see. See the version of him that you love and adore. Imagine how he's treating you and how you feel. Imagine how loved you feel, like with him, through him, together. Yeah, sometimes I can't stand him. Then it's like, when you have that idea, like, it's like a thought in your mind, you're like, oh, I can't stand him. Why did he do that? I want you to catch it. Okay, this is how you're going to prove you're the God of your reality, okay? Because you'll be like, oh my God, why did he do that? I can't stand that. Okay, and then catch it and be like, wait a minute. And you're going to tell yourself, wait a minute, I have the power to change this. So what do you need to do? What do you like? Instead of focusing on what you can't stand, focus on, you know what I really like? I love it when he tells me how beautiful I am. And I love it when he smiles. And I love it when he gives me that little whisper in the ear, whatever it is, right? I'm just saying things, right? But talk about what you love. And you're going to change the way that he shows up. He's going to show up matching where your focus and attention is. Just try it and watch it all change. It's really fun. Okay. Hey, Scorp Mooney, you've been a long time follower. Thanks for all I do. Thank you. Thanks for being here. And I know you're having great results. I'm definitely in fear to spend, or when you spend money. I enjoy what I buy though. Just try that exercise that I mentioned about the money, and you're spending money in your mind, and just watch what happens. Okay. Because you're going to have results from spending. I'm talking about you're imagining you're spending money. You can ask yourself that question a couple times a day, like, what if I had extra $100? What would I do with it right now? Okay, you have an extra $100,000. That already implies bills are paid. Okay, just take your mind there every once in a while. Okay, you're just going to claim it. I boldly claim who I am, and it keeps happening, right? It keeps manifesting. I boldly claim everything. I'm not afraid to claim it. Yeah, you spent money today and someone bought you something for the same price. Look at that, right? It's like you buy something and you're always giving and receiving, or you spend it, the money goes out and it's always coming back in. Do you see that? I love it. Yeah, about also some people asking about paying off your bills. Just imagine, like, close your eyes for a moment and imagine that you're writing a check. Nobody's writing checks, but just imagine you're writing a check. Okay. Or maybe you're online, whatever. Sometimes I'll just imagine I'm writing a check, and I don't even write checks, but I would just imagine I was writing a check for a certain amount. Like, that's all paid off. Okay. And that works. Imagine you're paying that bill. Use your imagination to imagine. It says, thank you for the receipt of all of the payment. Like, thank you for your payment. Okay, you could close your eyes and imagine seeing your phone and it says, thank you for your payment. And that's it. Like, you take yourself to the end. Just practice that and see what happens, okay? Because this is how you test the law. What you're imagining, if you're imagining like, ooh, I don't have the money to pay this. You're living in the end of, I don't have the money to pay this. But if you could close your eyes and take time to imagine, thank you for your full payment. Or whatever, like, what does it say? Like, thank you for your payment is usually what it says. But it doesn't matter what you imagine. It could be something that's not even very realistic. Thank you for paying $5,000 and you're paid off and you're debt free. You can imagine it says that. You're the creator of your reality, okay? Okay, you said, I have so much money, I don't know what to do with it, so I give a lot of it away. Giving is receiving. Do you understand? And that's a good thing. And for everyone else listening, right? When you are able to give freely, that means you have to give. Okay, so understand there is that idea of giving and receiving. Don't be afraid to give. Guilt and shame are tough. How to face that? By knowing that this is all, you're here for this experience. You're here to be a creator. You didn't come here to live in guilt and shame. That was the old model of reality when you didn't know you were awake. Okay, so you let go of that because you came here to have those experiences. It was a state. You were in a state. It's not who you are. Who you are is infinite. Who you are is this infinite soul. This is just a facade, or this is like clothing, or this is an avatar. It's not who you are. You're not the things you're thinking. You're not the shame or the guilt. You're infinite love. So meditate on that. Okay, meditate on how you're infinite, and all of this is not even who you are. This is kind of like a game of life that you're growing. I don't have any guilt or shame, but I used to, right? When I was asleep, I had a lot of that guilt and shame. I for the most part, I really don't have it. Okay. It's like you decide to release and let go. I release and let go of the guilt and shame. This was all part of the journey. It's part of what helped you grow. Okay. Also, if you just start focusing on love, it's gonna saturate so much that guilt and shame can't even be part of your ideas. Okay. If you saturate yourself so much with the ideas of love and abundance, in prosperity and health and wellness and well-being. And if you're saturating yourself with those ideas, guilt and shame don't live in that same space, in that same place. And when you're focused on one idea, it's growing and growing and growing. So if you're focusing on love, you could just shift your attention. This is another way. Instead of focusing on guilt and shame or that story or whatever, you just decide, you know what? You're going to radiate love. You're going to see the best in everything. You're going to see the beauty in everything. You're going to be healed, right? I'm healed, right? I'm already healed. Cupcakes. How do I love myself if I don't like the way I look? Do some mirror work. Okay. You're going to intentionally decide to love the way you look. Who told you you shouldn't like the way you look? The only reason you feel that way is somebody said something to you, or you know, the world and marketing is telling you the way you're supposed to look, but that's not even true. It's only true because some people were believing it, or you were believing it. You thought you were supposed to look a certain way. You thought you're supposed to have a certain body. And then if you didn't fit that mold, now you're developing your self-image based on the conditions of the world out there. Okay, so here's how you're going to love yourself and the way you look. And if you want to join my VIP group, join free for a week, because I can help you in there do some mirror work, okay? Just look in the mirror and tell yourself, you're going to tell yourself that you're beautiful, okay? And you're going to persist in it. And you're going to tell yourself things like, the things that you didn't like, just start saying, I love. Okay, you can say, I love my hair. I love the way that my chin looks. I love my jawline. We don't have to have whatever out there tells us we're supposed to have. You're going to say, I love, just start loving what you have. Okay? Or you could accept yourself. Like it's acceptance, appreciation. You could appreciate yourself. I appreciate I'm alive. You could start there. Maybe sometimes we have to start more general. I appreciate I wake up every day, I'm alive. I appreciate my body. I appreciate I can breathe. I can talk. Okay. And then that you start to have that appreciation for yourself and you build on that. And then you go to the mirror and you say, you know what? I love you. And you keep saying it and you just keep repeating it, because as you repeat something, you'll believe it. I have a really great meditation self-concept playlist. In that self-concept playlist, I am chosen. Okay, so you generally just want to feel like you're chosen. You choose yourself. Hot girl walking meditation. Okay, all of this has to do with the way you see yourself and the way that you could see yourself as a secure person. It's about self-acceptance. Accept yourself. Appreciate yourself. Okay, and you can do this. You start today and you're going to have big changes. You're going to change the way you see yourself. Just accepting I'm happy on my own. But how do I deal with thoughts? Okay, Karen, what do you want? That's what I'm not clear about here. So ask yourself, what do you want? Okay, now paint that picture. What do you want? And then claim it. Social media, how do I manifest Instagram growth? Just close your eyes and imagine you have it. I wasn't even on Instagram. And I was barely on Instagram. I hadn't posted on Instagram. I just had made a new lifestyle manifesting on Instagram, and I think I had maybe 1,000 followers. And then one day I thought, I think I should grow my Instagram account. And within 2 weeks, I went from like 1,000 to 22,000 in 2 weeks. After a week, I had 10. First, I was like, how about 10,000? I had 10,000 in a week. The next week, I had 20,000. I mean, I didn't really revisit it. Do you understand? Just visualize it. Imagine that people love your Instagram. What if you already have the growth consistently? What does that look like? What are you saying to yourself? Start saying, I already have, and then how many followers or how many, whatever. Is it followers or subscribers or people following you, right? So how many people are seeing you? Also, they see you, and what is the value that they receive from you? Assume that you bring value, right? You're assuming that you bring the value to everyone who's seeing you and watching you. Assume you're building a tight-knit community. Assume you're building followers that just love and adore you. right? Your assumptions are already manifesting. So what are you assuming? That people, they see your face, are like, oh yes, that they're so happy to see you. You made their day. I mean, you could go beyond that. Why do you want the Instagram growth? I don't know. Is it to something to do with your business? So then you want to create that vision of what does your business look like? You create the vision of like, why do you want it to grow? Because of what? And now you're imagining you have that as well. Right? Do you see? You want to create the vision of where you're going. Earth decay. What if I blocked SP because he was behaving unfavorably? Well, you did that because you were reacting to the circumstance. It doesn't matter what you did. Just go to the end that you're together. Don't overthink it. Don't think, do you have to block, unblock, whatever. All you have to do is go to the end, because you could show up at the same gas station and you're pumping, and then they walk up to you and say, I've been thinking about you forever, and are you available tonight? I want to see you. So this whole thing about whether or not you're blocked, unblocked, let it go. Let that idea go. All you have to do is live in the end in your mind that you're already in the end. And what does that look like? What does it look like if they're acting favorably, behaving, if they're behaving? Okay, what does it look like if you have the things you want, right? You feel loved, adored, they're treating you in the highest regard, and then you stay loyal to that vision. Doesn't matter. You're not going to overthink. Should I put that we're not, whatever. Should I unblock him or her, whatever, your SP? Should I unblock? No, don't even go there. You don't even need to. Don't even worry about it. None of that matters. Go to the end. It will just unfold. It'll just unfold. It'll just happen. And then you said, do I live in the 3D till my SP comes back? Yeah, but I want you to just make a little shift, okay? SP's already back because you planted the seed and you're in the end state. It's already done. Okay, just live in the 3D, because, I mean, it's not that we should never, I think you should live in the 3D no matter what. It doesn't matter. Whatever's happening, this is all part of the bridge of incidents. So live your joy, live your passion, live your bliss, because isn't that what you would be doing if you had your desire? Okay, think about that. Meditate on that. Okay, contemplate that. Okay. Amira, could you touch on your SP being you pushed out? I struggle with understanding that. I'm seeing unfavorable circumstances and behavior, all opposite of what I want, and I don't know why. Because you're focused on that. So reality is your consciousness pushed out. In your reality, it's just your consciousness pushed out. They're reflecting you. Okay, so when you start focusing on the unfavorable circumstance, that's where your awareness is. Your perspective, right? Your awareness, your perspective, what you're focused on. And if you're focused on that, then that is what you're living and that's what you're experiencing. If you want to change your circumstance, then you need to be putting your perspective on something else. You need to be seeing something what you want to be, or imagining what you want to be seeing, or just assuming. It's an assumption. An assumption, even though it's false, when you persist in that assumption, it will harden into a fact. Okay, so because my phone's about to die, I don't have time to talk about everyone is yourself pushed out, but you could test it. And I give so many ways to test it. If you join my VIP group, I have a whole space dedicated to everyone is yourself pushed out. And then ways you can test it, because you want to test it so that you see that this is true. And as you test it, you're going to prove it in the testing, and you're going to see that that's true. And as you see it's true, it makes it also easier for you to just shift your assumption. I shift my assumptions very easily because I know that I just have to change my assumption for a new result. Hi, Nathan. Thank you. Okay. So you really have to be aware, have the awareness, be an observer of your reality. Okay, like if you think about what Steve Jobs made in one of his speeches, it was like, you have to connect the dots of what you were thinking and what happened in the past. Okay, so when you start to connect those dots, that means you have the awareness of what you think and believe, and you look at your past and you see that what you were thinking and what you were believing is what happened. It's not that that happened to you. It came from you. Everything you've been living came from you and what you're thinking and believing. So you just never paid attention. None of us paid attention. None of us knew, because it didn't, who would have thought? Who would have thought that, right? Okay, so now pay attention and observe your reality. You will see that what you're thinking happens. Okay, so usually you won't see it until you really have that awareness of what you're thinking and believing and assuming, and then you pay attention to your world. Listen to what people say to you. Yeah, but you also said, I don't know, how am I the one creating when it's the total opposite of what I'm manifesting? Because a lot of times we're creating out of fear. And if you're creating from fear, you're actually creating your fear instead of your desire. It's the opposite, and then we create the fear, and then our attention's on that, or we're telling that story over, and we're wondering, what am I doing wrong? Well, what you're doing wrong is you're focusing on the whole story that you don't want. You're focusing on the opposite instead of saying, that doesn't matter, and then you have to hold loyal to the vision of what you want. I love you all. If you need additional help, I work one-on-one. So you could work one-on-one with me, or other ways to work with me. Join my VIP group. You can join free for a week. You will have changes. You will manifest money, just like people who have joined my group. You will manifest your specific person. You will manifest your desire. If you want to do the work on your own, you want to do that, I have a self-concept course, and you will align with success. All right, guys, I love you all. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.